This month I purchased 2 houses and closed on them in the same day. That brought my total to 3 houses and 1 duplex that I purchased just this year as income producing rentals. I'm going to go over why real estate is such a fantastic investment to build wealth, go over one of my investments, and show you step by step how I was able to purchase 4 properties this year from a single property that I purchased, and let you know step by step how you can do this too. What's up? This is Stacy. Welcome back to my channel. I make videos about making money, saving money, investing, real estate investing, and credit cards. If these are subjects that you're interested in, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So let's get to it. About 10 years ago, I was looking online and I noticed that houses in Las Vegas were going for as low as $60,000. I live in Los Angeles and that sounded like a very low amount of money for a house. So I decided I'm gonna buy a rental house. It wasn't a very hard sell for me to purchase something in Vegas because I go there and I love Las Vegas. I have family there that I can visit. I love to hike, and there's great hiking there between Mount Charles and Red Rock. And it's such a cool city to go and visit. There's so much to do. I play poker as a hobby and I always like to go to the casinos and play a little poker as well. I contacted a realtor and set up a time to come out and look at some houses to purchase. We started to drive through the neighborhood where the houses were about $60,000, and I was almost getting a little bit scared. This neighborhood was rough. I immediately had a bad feeling but went and looked at a few houses. The houses I looked at were in pretty rough shape, and this was a point in my investing where I didn't really know that it's a good idea to buy houses in bad shape and rehab them so you can get a better deal. As it turns out, these neighborhoods weren't that great anyway, so it's probably a good idea that I was scared. I told the realtor I really wasn't comfortable in this neighborhood with these houses. She told me she had a buyer that was backing out on a house and she wanted me to come take a look. We drove across town to a gated community with nice newer houses. These houses were about 5 years old and this house was a foreclosure. I walked through the house and it was a beautiful 5-bedroom house. The kitchen had granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, large diagonal tiles on the floor, and it was wired for surround sound. There was a big loft upstairs and a nice wide open floor plan. It was a nice house and seemed like it was in a good neighborhood. I decided to purchase that house as a rental. I was drawn to Las Vegas because I saw houses for $60,000 and I ended up purchasing this house for $270,000. I know, that's quite a jump. I put 10% down, so it was under $30,000. I had saved up the money through the years and had enough for the down payment. I'm going to go over a little bit later how you can get started if it sounds like $30,000 is a lot of money to get into a house, and let you know how you can do it for much less. I ended up renting that house and for years was getting monthly income. I did go through a few tenants over the years, made a lot of mistakes and learned quite a bit, but overall it was profitable. One of the reasons I love real estate is I can understand it. If someone comes up to you and says they have an investment where you're gonna make 10% a month on your money, you better understand what you're getting into, and it's probably a scam. I understand real estate and I can explain real estate. You buy a house. Somebody needs a house to live in, a family, a person, some roommates. They live in the house, you provide them a nice home, and they give you monthly rental income. You take that rent and you pay all your expenses with the rent, and whatever's left over is your profit. It's very simple to understand. The next benefit is if you have a loan on the house is principal pay down. When your tenant sends you rent, you take your house payment out of that rent. That payment will cover principal and interest. Every month the tenant sends you rent, you're going to use that to make your house payment. That house payment will cover principal and interest. Every month as the principal is paid down, the amount you owe on the house goes down. The nice part is the tenant is actually paying that for you. From the rent, you're also going to be paying your taxes, your insurance, HOA or homeowner's fees if you have that, repairs, maintenance, property management if you have a property management company, and any kind of expenditures that come up for the house. Once you take all those expenses monthly, whatever you have left over is profit. Here's where the magic happens. About 10 years went by and I was making money every single month on this property. During this time, the tenant paid down the loan, so I owed less money. Years passed and the property appreciated. That means the house is worth more now than it used to be. So now I have a lot of equity. Equity is the value of your house less however much you owe on it, and that's your equity. So if you have a $200,000 house and you owe $100,000, you have $100,000 equity. If you have a $300,000 house and you owe $100,000 on it, you have $200,000 equity. I had a lot of equity in this house and it was just kind of sitting there not doing anything, and I knew that I had to do something with that. I had three choices that I was considering. The first one was to either sell the house, 1031 exchange it, or do a cash out refinance. I thought about selling it and ended up deciding against that because I did not want to have to pay capital gains tax, which is tax on the money that I made. The next option was a 1031 exchange. I've done this before and it is a great strategy, but I didn't want to do it in this case. A 1031 exchange is where you sell your rental and you purchase a like property, so another rental for the same amount or more. You use all the money from your sale for the new property and you do not have to pay capital gains tax. What you're doing is you're deferring it to a later date, and that date would be when you sell your home. So if you never sell it, you never pay it. I decided not to do it in this case because there's time constraints. You have to identify the property within a certain amount of time and you have to close on it within a certain amount of time. I wanted to have enough time to have a good deal on my next homes, and I really didn't want that pressure. I opted for a cash out refinance. What I ended up doing is I got a new loan for the house. The loan amount was more than the previous loan and it stretched out for 30 years. Now I'm adding 10 years onto the loan. My payment also went up by about $90 a month, and my loan amount was much higher. It might sound a little odd that I wanted a longer loan with the higher payment, but hear me out. Once that loan closed or was finished, they paid off the money for the first loan. They took the extra money and gave me a check. That check was about $140,000. The nice thing about the $140,000 is I did not have to pay taxes on it because I just refinanced an existing property and didn't sell it. So for about the past year or so, I've been researching different areas and learning how to invest out of state. I actually paid money for a one-on-one coach to teach me the ins and outs of out-of-state investing. This helped me with my confidence, and I learned how to network, and I got my team together. My team consists of a realtor, a lender, a property management company, and construction for the rehab. Armed with all of this knowledge and $140,000, this year I was able to use that money and I purchased 3 houses and 1 duplex. I financed all of them and put 25% down, and they're all rentals that are cash flowing or will be cash flowing once a tenant is in them. I just closed on 2 of them. There's a little bit of rehab that's going to be done, and I will have a tenant in them shortly. So for the down payment on 1 house and a lot of time, I'm now able to have 5 cash flowing properties. This is such a great way to build your wealth. Now you may be thinking, I don't have $30,000 to go put on a rental house, but I really like this idea and I want to do it. I'm going to tell you how you can start investing in real estate. The easiest way to start is to purchase the first home that you're going to live in. You're going to want to do a few things to get prepared for that. You're going to want to either have a job or a business so that you can get a loan. You typically need to be on your job for about a year showing income, or if you're self-employed, work for about 2 years, but it does vary depending on the lender. If you don't make a lot of money, then work on making more money. You can get a side job. If there's something in your company or your business that you can do to make more money, go ahead and do that. If your expenses are high, you want to cut your expenses. If your expenses are low, try to cut them a little more. You definitely want to live beneath your means, and as soon as you get paid, put some of that money away to save for your future. You'll be able to use that money for the down payment on your house. You also want to have good credit so you can get a low interest rate. You want to make sure that you pay all of your bills on time. If you have any credit card debt, get rid of it. If you don't have any credit cards at all, get a few credit cards and put expenses on there that you would be using anyway and pay them off in full each month. I've made a few videos on credit cards because there's plenty of benefits to having credit cards and you can get lots of free stuff. As I say in every credit card video, you don't want to spend more than you would anyway. You definitely want to pay them off in full at the end of the month and get as many benefits as you can. You can usually get a loan for as low as 3.5% down as a first-time buyer through FHA, as long as you're going to live in the home. You'll be able to purchase a house, a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. So 4 units or less as long as you're gonna live there. One option is to buy a house with a lot of rooms and rent out the rooms so that your roommates will pay for all or most of your living expenses. Sometimes you can even save money. If you don't want to live with other people, you can also buy a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, rent out the other units, live in one, and let your tenants pay your mortgage. If you do one of these options, take that extra money and just add it to your savings so you can save it for your next investment. Even if you don't do that and you just purchase your own home and you live there, you can still save more money, lower your expenses, make more money, and get ready for your next rental. For your next rental, you have a couple of options. You can do what I did on that rental and just purchase it as a rental. Or you can move out of your current home, rent it out, and then move into the new home. The benefit to moving into a new home and renting your old home out is you're gonna get a much better loan and often a lower down payment. You can just keep doing this over and over and over. Buy a house a year, a house every 2 years. It doesn't even really have to interfere that much with your life. You are gonna need to do some research and learn how to do this properly so you don't make too many mistakes. If you're gonna manage it yourself, you're gonna need to do the research on tenant screening. If you hire a property management company, you're gonna wanna make sure that you ask the proper questions so that you hire a good property management company. Up until this year, I've managed all my rentals, and this is the first time I'm using property management. And I've learned quite a bit the hard way on how to manage homes properly. So I will be making a video at some point explaining that. So I hope this video gives you some tips and some reasons why real estate investing is such a fantastic way to build your wealth. This is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not something that you can learn how to do in a 10-minute video, but do your research and you will be on your way. Make more money, spend less money. This can be done on the side, this can be done full-time, this can be done part-time. This is definitely something that will help your investment portfolio. As always, like the video if you liked it, leave me a comment, subscribe. Let me know where you are in your real estate investing and what your next step is. I hope these videos help you and spark an interest in real estate investing if you're not already doing that. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!